Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26, streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with producer Alden Niawani. We've got New Mexico military head football coach Kurt Taufa'asau on with us today. The champs are here, baby, the champs. You know, I think of that movie Ali when Will Smith hits those drums. The champs are here. Coach, welcome to the show. We're so honored to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
You know, Coach, the season ending with a victory over Iowa Western Community College, 31-13 in the championship, and it was a long road to get there. 12-1 on the season. You went through so much, and I'm sure you've had time to reflect a little bit. Now that you have, tell us what this championship meant to you, and the New Mexico military, the college down there, and the city of Roswell.
It means a lot to be able to bring a title back to where it all started for me as a my college career. It was huge for me, and to be able to be the first one to to bring it to the institute and also to the state of New Mexico. I just think it's just rewarding throughout the year that we went through with all the COVID restrictions and all the adversity we've hit, the ups and downs we went through. I think it's just a tremendous honor to be able to bring something like that back to the institute, let alone to the state of New Mexico.
And what a long storied history New Mexico Military Institute has. Roger Staubach, a former player there. Is there some more alumni you want to mention there that played in New Mexico Military? I know he's one of them. There's some others too.
Yes, sir. We have a few guys that went on to played in the NFL, and also other guys too that were successful in after their time here. I know one is what you call Bowman. He went on to Nebraska. He just got inducted into the NJCAA Hall of Fame. And then Jordan Talmu was our recent in recent memory, and the quarterback that went to Ole Miss, and he's with a couple of practice squad teams so far this year. And we have guys that are moved on to four-year schools at the moment, and hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see them on national television, fulfilling their dreams and doing what they they love to do. So,
Coach, talk a little bit about that. You came back to coach in your place where you played. You played in New Mexico Military, and you spent some time in the pros as well with the Tennessee Titans, I believe. And talk a little bit about that. You mentioned you did also attending the University of Wyoming. How did that prepare you to come back? I mean, what was it like to come back? What did it mean to you to come back and coach at a place that you played after garnering all that experience in college and the pros?
This place really helped me out a lot. Just coming, a guy coming from an island in the middle, the Pacific, out to, Roswell, New Mexico, starting my, college career here. It was a culture shock at first, but, I knew I had, things that it needed to be done and, help out my parents. And moving on to, University of Wyoming, the things that I've learned here from the Institute really helped me out a lot. Growing up fast, really, at a younger age, being on my own, for those 4 or 5 years that I was out here in college, and then also, my little stint in the NFL really helped me out, seeing things that, as a young adult that I really need to, focus on and get done while I have the time. And all those learning experience that I've gathered during my time here in Wyoming and, with the Raiders, Tennessee Titans, and the Colts really helped mold me to be the person that I am and the guy that, I want to be moving forward. And hopefully, teaching these young kids and coming back to the Institute wasn't a hard decision for me. I knew if I wanted to, get into coaching, I had an opportunity given by, our former head coach, so fortunate to come down here and help him. In order for me to get into coaching, that's where I wanted to start, was here, because I knew how, the challenges that if I pull through here, it'll make me a better person and also a better coach. And coming back here and doing all that, I don't know. It's just unexplained, feeling and experience to be able to, accomplish winning a championship for this program. So just super grateful and blessed to be in the position I am today.
Well, they're blessed to have you. I think that goes both ways. Talk a little bit about this though. When you're in the pros and things are done at the pro level, so meetings, there's a lot of accountability, a lot of things to learn at any professional level, right? I mean, they do things way different. There's expectations. It's a business. They want to win. If winning, we talked about this before we got on the air. It's not easy in the NFL. That's what I think. Well, I think that what New England and what the Bill Belichick and the Patriots have done is amazing. We may never see another run like that again. I've watched the NFL since 1970. Talk a little bit about what you learned from the pro experience and how you transferred that to coaching here at New Mexico Military.
The things that I learned, the time that I had in the NFL for a little bit was, you can't take anything for granted. And yes, we know it's a business, and people got to feed their families, and then bringing that aspect of things to this program and trying to apply it to these kids and letting them know that, hey man, like someday pretty soon, football, you won't be playing football. Football is just a temporary stop in life, and if you want to get something accomplished, if you want to go somewhere, after your time here at the institute, there's got to be a sense of urgency, which is something that we preached a lot this past year, because we don't have time. A lot of these kids, at this age, they think they have time to, weigh and get stuff done, but you don't. And with going back to what we talked about, how the NFL they want to win right now, and that's something that I believe this team this past year did a great job at. When there's something that needed to be done, like everybody has to be, collectively agreed to getting it done, and ultimately it led us to winning our first national championship. And I'm so super proud of it too, and it's because not many people gave us a chance, and we got a team with a bunch of guys that work their butts off and know that this is the goal, and in order for us to get to accomplish our goal, we got to get things done and in a timely fashion manner, so that way we don't waste the coach's time and we don't waste the kids' time. So
Sense of urgency is important, right? And some, again, my understanding is I've been around youth athletics for almost 50 years, right? I mean, I've played, I've been a participant, and coached and refed and in basketball, but I've been hearing lately from some coaches that it's tougher to get those messages across, Coach. You played at a time that in the Mexico military that's different. In the pros, the messages are different. Did you find any unique challenges in getting your message across to your players?
At times, yes. But credit goes to my staff for meeting together with me and just going over what we need to accomplish as a staff, and then translating it to our kids, and and getting it done really. Because if it wasn't for because I didn't do it on my own. I had a huge support staff behind me that helped us get to our first championship, and credit goes to our staff. And my staff did a great job of just relaying what myself wanted this team to look like and how things needed to be done. And I felt like they helped me become a better coach by getting those stuff done and getting the message across to the guys, and making sure that they understand this is how we need to get it done, and we're going to do it this way. Because if a guy wants to do it their way, who knows? We might have not made this run and win our championship. And that goes to everybody buying into the same message. And we felt like our guys did it, and and that's credit goes to our leadership, players council, and all our sophomore guys that were on the team, of holding each other accountable and getting the job done. So
that's the beauty of it all, isn't it? When it works and you get a championship. And I always say this to coaches: how do we bottle it? How do we keep it going, right? Because sometimes they'll come out and play amazing, and then the next night, I've got two questions before we go to break. One blip on the screen. You've 12-1. You beat Iowa Community College for the championship. Northwestern Mississippi Community College in the semis, 49-30. One blip, and that was on October 23rd, a loss to Cisco College, 38-19. And sometimes I think, Coach, losses help us refocus. We never want to lose, man. I never,
Oh, yeah.
right? But once in a while, we can say, okay, now we've been telling you this, this, and this. So how did your team refocus after that? And did you consider it a major loss, or how did you refocus the Broncos after that?
Well, we came together as a staff again, and we kind of analyzed on some of the stuff that we didn't do well that week. And the main thing that stood out was, there was a lack of, urgency there. And, that's where that sense of urgency, we stressed throughout the rest of the year was, because, we woke up. I don't know if you got watched that game. We woke up in the fourth quarter finally, and then we started scoring points and we started, getting people, Cisco off the field. But it was too late, we started scoring points and it was too late. And we kind of translated that to our guys and tell them, hey, look, if we just sleepwalk through the first three quarters and thinking that we have this much time to, come back and try to win the game, it's not going to work, especially when we get into, the later part of the season where we're playing pretty good teams. And I feel like the guys understood the message. And, the next week was a test to see if, they really, understand the message. And with us going up took a long road trip up to Miami, Oklahoma, and the guys responded. We fought some adversity up there, and they responded and they came out swinging, and that's when we knew that, oh, okay, if we can keep it going, we're gonna end up doing something special, with this team. And like I said, with the leadership of the sophomores that we have, I don't think that stuff could have gotten done. And they understood the message, and they got it done. So
you recovered the next week, as you mentioned, to beat Northwestern Oklahoma A&M 17-7. Sounds like a little bit of a slugfest. One of those, yeah. So, but the message being you recovered, and you keep mentioning your team and the message they had and accountability within each other, which must have meant something, because you can only speak and preach the message for so long until they finally get it. It sounded like they took that to heart. It sounded like, because they came out and won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row after that. One blip, 6 in a row after that.
Yes, sir. And credit goes to this, our school too. And I think our school plays a huge part in, our success too this year. And it's because of the environment that these guys are in. The military side of things, kind of helps them, keep a tunnel vision, on what the goal is at hand. And there's not much going on around here, on our campus. We don't let our guys leave campus. We don't let them, they're on a certain schedule that they have to be on. And I think, with that combination of what we wanted to do this year on the football field, I think it meshed really well, and it helped our guys stay focused for those last 6 games leading up to, the championship game. And again, I wish I could, explain the feeling of it, but, you got to experience it to know what we mean about, being here and going through the process these guys are going through daily. Because, they not many schools around, community colleges around, the country, that does what our guys, do semester.
No, it sounds like, again, it's a military institute. We forget that, right? So the discipline, there's things that are required there that are different at other colleges, and that helps too. Coach, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with New Mexico military football coach Kurt Taufa'asau after these messages on the sports desk.
The other direction, and good steal away by the Storm for 2. Aubrey Jaramillo.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8-2. Another steal by the Bears. Ahead to Ottman. Ottman lays it up and scores. Riley Abman already has 6 points, and
the other side fires it to Dyer. Dyer left it open. How about that defense? You can't leave the ball exposed like that, can you?
Henna shoots for three. Tipped up and good. Kennedy Brown. Bears have used 2 timeouts. The Hawks have used 1. Natalia Chavez. Holy cow. Yeah, entire game. Here's Jaquan Hill. Sets up Alter on the dunk. Coach talking about Riley, she mentioned, the other day against El Dorado, she didn't have a big game. Oh, breaks an ankle, puts in 2. Riley Ottman.
Latavius looks up. There's 8 to play.
He's going to back him up, take a shot. Yep.
Nope. Way back 3. Yes, he banks it in from way back downtown.
It's 5 to shoot. Judah looks up, he sees it. 3 to shoot.
Oh!
He put the youngster on skates, and he buries the 3.
Ball's loose with only 4 seconds to play. Pacheco picks it up and fires! Yes! Pacheco ends the quarter from midcourt for the Jaguars. And Driscoll will take an 18-13 lead into the second.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Welcome back to the Sports Deck live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. Our special guest, New Mexico military football coach, Kurt Taufa'asau. And Coach, again, the champs of the junior college beating, we mentioned your last game of the season, you beat Iowa Western Community College 31-13. I've got a quote from you from a broadcaster that watched your team play this year. The players really responded to his coaching and his discipline. The team's defensive intensity reminded me of Rocky Long's team his last year at UNM, and that's from veteran broadcaster Scott Galletti, who knows a thing or two about college athletics. He's been around quite a long time and definitely one of the state's best broadcasters. He supplied that quote. He saw your team play. I'm sure he talked to you about stats. Scott is a master of prepping for games, and I'm sure he picked your brain more than once.
Yes, sir, he did. Met with them the night before our what you call a semifinal game against Northwest, and Scott is a great guy. Learned a lot from him too. Talking about the history of how he is working at UNM and all that stuff. So it was a pleasure to meet him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When it comes to prepping for games, he'll get every minute. He's taught me a lot about that. Every minute detail matters, and he tries to incorporate them all. He takes it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that when I asked him for a quote, he saw your teams play. We didn't actually get a chance to do that. But I also wanted to mention you were the first ACC FCA Coach of the Year honor after leading New Mexico military. So a 12-1, you got that award this year, and a program's first National Junior College Athletic Association Division I National Championship. You guys were ranked actually number 1 going into the title game, and you beat number 1, Western. We mentioned 31-13 to claim the crown. Your first season as head coach. So many things went on there. You've been there since 2016 as the defensive line coach to help guide the Broncos to the Southwestern Junior College Football Conference Championship in 2009. So, we wanted to go over a little bit and tell us about your roster. We got some great stats here. Tell us about you ranked number 1 in the NCAA final polls. Tell us about, if you can, your average points per game and total points scored, things like that. Would you mind telling us about that? We'll go to your defensive stats here in a minute, but tell us about the average points per game and total points scored and the rushing offense, things like that.
Yes, our offensive staff this year, the combination of our athletes too on that side of the ball, we were able to average, I believe, 40.5 points per game. And I think that's, in the top 5 in the nation. And we were number 1 in scoring, total points. I think it was 5,000 plus points, over the course of the year. So we're number 1 in that category. And also we were number 1 in, the rushing offense. And credit goes to our offensive staff for, day in, week in, and week out, coming up with a game plan where it's going to put our guys, in a successful position come, game time. And, with the combination of our coaches on that side of the ball, we had some pretty good athletes too. We had the National Junior College Player of the Year in Anthony Grant at running back, who recently just committed to, Nebraska. And then we had, our O-line, was a huge part of it too as well, to be able to move people at their will, at the point of attack, every rep on game days. I mean, that goes to the testament of, what type of football team that we wanted to be and how we wanted to impose our will on people on game time. And, our left tackle, Oklahoma State signee, he's there right now. Left guard, second team All-American, center with the honorable mention, right guard with honorable mention too in the conference, and then our right tackle too. All those guys have, opportunities to play at, 4-year schools when it's all said and done. And like I said, credit goes to, our staff and, our players for coming together and, buying into the game plan and executing on Saturdays.
Talk a little bit about, the guys up front don't get enough credit. All they hear about is how many holding, Dallas on Sunday, right? Connor Williams, hold. That's all we kept hearing about, left guard Connor Williams. Give him a little credit. Tell us about how, you mentioned the physicality, imposing their will. Talk a little bit about how many yards per game you average rushing again. Talk about that.
So we've averaged 288 yards per game rushing, and that's pretty good. And like I said, man, our coaches, again, our OC and Coach Kaiser, he's an Eastern New Mexico guy, a triple option guy. So, in triple option, you run the ball. And you
every
don't
play.
care. Yeah, every play, you don't care if, you get 1 yard the first play. You're going to run the ball constantly until something, pops. And our offensive line coach, he's an Artesia guy, graduated from New Mexico State. So these are 2 guys that grew up within the state and knows how a little too are thinking about football. And gladly, they agreed to, that pounding the football on Saturdays, was the deal this year. And ultimately, it wore down defenses and it made people rethink, is this what, do I want to go up against these guys, every play? Because these guys are geared to, coming at you nonstop, and that's all, credit goes to our strength, program too of, guys just pushing through the end, and with guys, in practice constantly, working at, getting each other better and then translating it to, to the field on Saturday. I mean, I think that's huge to, what we've been trying to build here at the Institute. And that's the, it goes back to our slogan, which is the grindhouse. We're not going to be the most talented people. We're not going to be the most talented team out there. We're not going to be the most, big team out there, but we will do the dirty stuff. And that's, if we have to move people, we're going to move you, and we might not get it on the first play, but we're going to get it on the 10th play, so.
Commitment to the run, right? Because a lot of people, abandon the run. If it doesn't go right to 1 or 2 yards, they abandon it. Seems
Yes,
like.
sir.
So it seems like your team said, we're not stopping that. You mentioned your running back. We wanted to ask, because he's one of our local kids from here, Diego Pavia, the quarterback from Volcano Vista, New Mexico State bound. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, so we are very happy about the decision he made to go to New Mexico State, because I think he's going to help that program turn some things around and be a stronghold in the state as far as trying to get guys like him that are overlooked, that took the longer for them to get to a 4-year school. And that kid pretty much helped us get to the level that we wanted to play this past year. He has a grit and grind type mindset where he was a wrestler in high school, and the kid has a competitive edge, does not back down from anything, even arguments and stuff stuff like that. He won't take a no for an answer, and I'm glad he was on our football team, and he helped us and his teammates get better as we progress throughout the season, because he's the type of guy that will hold you accountable, and make sure that you'll be in the right places come Saturday. And again, credit to him, our players, and also our staff for just being on the same page and knowing what to do and what not to do come game day.
Coach, we can't let you go without giving some love to your defensive unit. Tell us about your defensive unit. It's only fair. Don't want them getting mad at you or me, man. Give them some love. Tell us about your defense.
Oh, yeah, man, our defense, this year our defense was a bend, don't break type mentality on defense. I know we were, average points per game this year was 17.2, and that was 7th in the nation, which is, in my opinion, pretty good for a conference that we go up against daily or week in and week out. The Texas League, they like to throw the ball around, and to be able to hold people, to less than 20 points. I mean, that's huge. And and the guys on our side of the ball, defense, we just want to swarm the football. And I don't care if we didn't care if a guy caught the ball on us for 2 yards. We cared about if there was 2, 3, 7 guys surrounding the football as soon as it was caught. So, and that was the type of mentality we were playing with this year. And good thing, it turned out that it was a good brand of football.
Coach, we got about a minute left. Tell us, and we can only imagine, what is your chance? New Mexico military winning the championship. What has it done for recruiting?
It has done a great job for recruiting. We've had a ton of guys that reached out and wanted to be a part of our program, which is a huge plus. And what you call it, it helped us coaches make some some easy quick pitch to kids trying to sell the institute, and letting those kids know that, hey, if you come to a military school, you can win championships at a military school. It don't matter where you go. As long as you make the most out of it at wherever you're going to be at, especially at a school like the Institute. I mean, you're going to be enjoying all the hard work that you put in by the end. So
might have a chance to get a championship. Mexico military football coach Kurt Taufa'asau, we sure appreciate you being our guest today. The win of the champs, December 17th over Iowa Western Community College, 31-13. We wish you all the best of luck, and we are honored that you were our guest today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.